Today, let's talk about another MIDI controller from Synido, which is called the Synido TempoPAD Z-1. This MIDI controller is an 8x8 grid matrix with 64 RGB velocity sensitive pads, which you can customize under custom mode. It also has an ambient strip light on the side, which support 4 display modes such as marquee, rhythm, note dance, and diffusion mode. Also, it has 5 working modes such as easy, drum, key, user, and custom mode. It also has 3 transport commands or buttons which you can map on your DAW that you will be using on your computer. Also, it has Octave and Transpose functions, which is available under key mode. Also, you should be able to adjust the brightness of the pads. By the way, this MIDI controller, you are able to connect to your devices such as your phones, your tablets and iPad, and of course to a laptop opening a DAW. This MIDI controller does comes with a Synido companion software, which you can use for light drawing, for editing, and more. Without further ado, let's get started. And now let me show you quickly what comes in the box. Outside the box, it looks like that. At the back here, it pretty much tells you what to expect when you buy or when you get this Synido TempoPAD Z-1. Okay, and now let's check what's inside. Okay, opening it, you can see over here, it tells you pretty much a diagram. If you will be connecting this to a computer or to your iPad or tablet or to a phone. Okay, and now let's open it. So first you will have this manual or user's guide, and it does comes with a pouch. There you go. And let's get first this cables on here. Okay, so as you can see, it does comes with this one. So this is USB-C to A for connecting this to a maybe computer or your phone. And this one here, another USB-C to A. You can connect that to your computer. And this one here, this is a MIDI 5-pin DIN female to 3.5 TRS jack. Maybe if you want to connect it to an audio interface, then you can use that. Also, it does comes with an OTG adapter, USB-C to A. You can use that if you will be connecting this TempoPAD to your iPad or phones. And finally, the MIDI controller, the Synido TempoPAD Z-1. There you go. Again, this is pretty much what you will get when you buy this Synido TempoPAD Z-1. And now let's connect this MIDI controller right away to this laptop. By the way, I'm using Ableton Live as my DAW. So looking at this controller before I connect it, so pretty much these are the pads on here, and you have your transport buttons on here with your velocity transpose function and octave function with a light and MCC. These are your modes, work modes. And this is your, let's say, for the ambient light. I'm going to show that to you in a bit. And this is just to adjust this function on here. So it toggles this arrow up and down right there. So we'll talk more about that in a bit. And over here, you'll find your MIDI out, your USB-C. Let's say you want to connect this to a computer like this one right now. You don't really need to connect this to a power source, let's say a power bank. So again, if you will be connecting this controller to a laptop, you don't need to connect this to a 5-volt power source. Maybe you will need that if you will be connecting this one to a phone. And this is just your lock hole right there. And this control over here on the side, I'm going to show you in a bit. This is for your strip ambient light mode. And now connecting this to a laptop. So first I will use, of course, this USB-A to C. So I'll connect this one, the USB-C to here. So the one that says USB-C, very self-explanatory. And then the other one, of course, the USB-A to the USB-A port of your laptop. Okay, there you go. As you noticed, there's no function, there's no buttons here to turn it off or on. It automatically turns on as soon as you connect this to a laptop, or maybe if you'll be connecting it to an iPad or a phones, it will be turned on right away. Okay, and now opening this Ableton Live DAW, first thing that you will have to do, by the way, I'm not a pro on this one, I'm still learning up to now. Anyway, this is pretty much for the beginners. And now that we have connected this MIDI controller to the laptop, as I mentioned earlier, I am using the Ableton Live DAW. So from here, make sure to go to Options, and then go to Preference. And from here, if you go to Audio and you are connecting an audio software, you have to select it from there. And of course, your input, you have to change that, as well as your headphone. But in my case right now, what I'm doing is I simply connected an earphone over here, because connected directly to this laptop, because that's how I will be monitoring the audio, with this earphone connected to the laptop directly. So my audio output device there is set to headphone, the ones that I connected to this laptop. And from there, go to Link Tempo MIDI. So from here, make sure it is set to Synido TempoPAD, the input and output, and over here, the in and out. Make sure those are check mark, like the track and the remote, so that we can control over here. Let's say if we're going to map some functions here, or buttons here, then that's the use of the remote being check mark over there. Okay, anyway, before we go dive into that, maybe let's X out from there. If this is the first time you open the Ableton Live, this is pretty much what you will see. You will have this 2 MIDI on here, and then 2 audio tracks on there. So pretty much we will not be using, in this video, we'll not be using the audio, so we can delete that. Okay, so this is your session view. As you noticed, even if you tap on this pads, there's no audio at all. You will not hear from your earphone if you're listening to it via earphone, or if you're using the speaker of the laptop, you will not hear anything. So what you will do from here, make sure to arm this track. Let's say the first track over there. So you have to arm it, you have to click it. There you go. Make sure it's in red. And still, if you press anywhere here, you can see there is a light over there. It's like there's a response. But as you can see, there is a response over there, and yet you cannot hear anything. So what you will do is you will have to add some maybe sounds or instrument to this track for you to be able to hear as you press on here. So for you to be able to hear something. By the way, I'm not really a pro on this MIDI controller. I only know the basic. Anyway, so from here, let's say we're going to add some sounds. Okay, maybe let's go to, maybe let's use one from here. Okay, we can use this one. So you can either tap this twice, and it will normally go here. And then to stop that noise, then just space bar, and then it will stop that. It just gives you an idea as to what sounds you will have if you select that. And let's say, for example, you want to add it in a different way. So what you will do is, instead of tapping it twice, you can simply drag and drop it. So drag and drop it over there, and it's going to be the same thing. It will show up on there. And now if I'm going to tap anything from here, I should be able to hear sounds from now. There you go. Okay, there it is. By the way, when you tap it, it doesn't really go down. So there is resistance on this pads on here, and they're pretty sensitive. And now let's talk about the buttons on here. First, let's talk about the mood on here. As I mentioned, that is to control your light strip, ambient light strip on this side. So as you notice right now, even if I tap it, it doesn't have a light on here. So that is because there is this switch on here that is to turn it on. So this one right there. So I'm going to just slide it to the right, and there you go. So I should have that light. The first option should be red. There it is. So this is the marquee mode. And now let's check the next mode. So it's in green. The green light is your rhythm mode. Okay, there you go. If I'm going to tap over here, so it's the way this light over here, it shows in a different manner. Okay, there you go. Okay, so the next one is in blue. The blue is your note dance mode. If I'm going to press anywhere over here, okay, so it it shows a different way of showing those lights. Okay, and the last one, okay, there you go. This is your diffusion mode. Okay, if I'm going to press anywhere here, so there you go. Okay, so as you notice, it shows up those lights in a different way. So again, that's the use of the mood button over there. And now talking about this other buttons on here, these are your 5 working modes. You have your easy, drum, key user, and custom mode. Now the easy mode on here, I will not be talking on it for now because this is more on using the Synido Companion software, and it's more for editing and light drawing and for customization your RGB lights on here. Now let's move on to the drum mode. So if we're going to select the drum mode, there you go, it lit up and it has 4 different colors on it. So as you notice, 8 or 4 by 4. So you have your drum rack on here. You can actually maybe select drum racks on here, and then you can add separately on the other square. So I should say 4 different colors on here. You can add different maybe instrument or synth keys on each of the pads here. It's very, very interesting as a beginner in this kind of gadget. Okay, let me show you quickly. So from here, okay, maybe I'm going to add so the track 2, I'm going to add drum rack on here. So maybe I'll just use this one, the first one. So again, as I mentioned, you can either double tap on there or just simply drag and drop it over here. Okay, so as you notice, the red or the arm is already, it automatically moved to the next one. Okay, so if I'm going to tap this one here, there you go. So I have those sounds now. So this is your first set of drums or drum kit on here. There you go. So, okay, and as you notice over here, so again, this is 4 by 4. As you notice over here, so this part on here, if I'm going to tap this one, it shows it's on this one and the next one. So that's your rim shot, and the next one and the next one. And it follows whatever is on here, it follows on here. There you go. And it doesn't mean that those pads, the drum kit that you selected are fixed. You can change them as you like. For example, this crash over here. If you want to change it, of course you can do that. So what you do is maybe go to, let's say, instrument. And I'm going to select bass. And let's just select the first one. So same thing, what you will do is just... okay, that's what it sounds like if you want to listen to it first. Okay, and now if you want to change your crush over here, so this one, this pad to this. So again, this should be the sound for that. There you go. If you want to change that to, let's say, bass, and you want to select this one, so what you will do is just tap, drag, hold, and place it over there. There you go. So it changes. Now it's not going to be crush anymore. There you go. So it changed to something else. It changed to bass with 808 drifter. There you go. Now over here, so as you notice, if you tap this one here, there's no sounds. And even over here, there's no sounds. Now, if you want to add sounds or anything, if you want to add sounds on this other pads on here, what you simply do is, let's say over here. So it tells you which one is it lighting up over here. So over here, as you notice, if I'm going to tap it, okay, if I'm going to tap it, it lights up on this one here. So if I'm going to press that, there you go. So as you can see, it's pretty empty. Now to make sounds from this other pads over here, what you can do is same thing. You can select a sound maybe over here and then drop it on here. So let's say you select the strings this time. So let's check, let's use again the first one. So again, just hold, drag, and drop it over here. Okay, there you go. So if I'm going to press this corner here, there should have now sounds. There you go. Okay, and you can do this for all this pads on here. So let's maybe add something else, maybe a piano keys on the next one. So let's, okay, so if you want that, move it over there. And then, so you can add as many as however many pads on there. Those are 16 again. So this is 16 and this is 16. Okay, so let's say you want to use that, then drop it maybe over here. And there you go. So if I'm going to press this, so as you notice, it should have now those sounds. And you can actually customize those audio on here. You can add effects as you like. Okay, and so that's that. And over here, there's no sounds, same as earlier. Now let's add some sound on here. So same thing. Okay, as I press this one on here, it lit up the lit up over here. So just tap that, and then same thing. Add some sounds or synth keys or whatever you want. So maybe let's add synth keys this time. So maybe I'll try this and I'll drop it to there. Okay, now if I'm going to press this one, there should be sound this time. There you go. So again, I added something on here and there. There you go. But I did not add yet on the other pads on here. Okay, so maybe let's add some more samples. Okay, maybe let's add this one. Let's add something. Okay. Oops. Or maybe let's add something from here. Okay, so let's add that. Let's maybe add it over here. Again, you can add as many as you like, as many as 16 pads on here, different ones as you like if you want to use them. And let's see. Okay, maybe let's select from here. Okay. Okay, we can use that and then we can add it over there. Okay, there it is. Okay, and same thing you do on this yellow square on here. So, okay, again, if I'm going to press this one, as you can see, the light is somewhere over here. So I'm going to tap that. So as you notice, it's still pretty empty. That's why there's no sounds created as I tap it. Okay, so from here, so again, it's over here and that's the one. So same thing, I'm going to add something so it will produce some sounds. So in that way, I added sounds on here. There you go. And then same thing, if I'm going to maybe add some more, whatever I want from here. So let's do that. And then it should be sounds now from here. There you go. Okay. And again, you can add as many as you like. That's pretty much how to add some sounds on this pads on here. Now the key mode is similarly arranged with the piano keyboard with 4 octaves of black and white keys. In this mode, you should be able to use the octave and transpose function. So as I tap the octave on here, it lit up to green, and this time we should be able to use this arrow up and down. So let's say, for example, I'm going to select, okay, let's maybe listen first if I'm going to tap this one over here. Okay, so maybe this one here. Okay, if I'm going to press the arrow down on here, and then I'll tap it again. There you go. So as you notice, it lowers the octave. As I tap it again, going down, so I'm going to press it again. There you go. So the octave goes down, and then should be only 2 octaves there. So, and now same thing, if I'm going to press the arrow up, okay, there you go. So let's press that again. There you go. So the octave increases this time. And then the last one, there you go. Or there's one more there. There you go. You want to set that to default, just simply tap and hold both the arrow up and down, and it goes to the default settings. So arrow up and down, tap and hold until it turns red over there. Oh, I accidentally press it again. So again, tap and hold both for 2 seconds until it lit up red over there. So again, it goes back to the default sound as well, or note. There you go. So again, same thing with the transpose. So if I'm going to press transpose, so I press this one again. Okay, now I'm going to be pressing the arrow down. Okay, maybe that's too much. Okay, so I'm going to press the arrow down. There you go. And I'll press that same key there. Okay, I'll press the arrow down again. Okay, and then one more. And then one more. And then one more. And then last. There you go. Now, if I'm going to press the arrow up, okay, Okay, so let's go back first to the middle. Okay, so same thing. Okay. There you go. So as you notice, the keys going up as you press this arrow up right there. Same thing, if you want to set it to the default, then press and hold same time the arrow up and down until it lit up red over there at the middle. There you go. So now the audio or the keys should be the same. There you go. Now when it comes to the velocity, which is available for the key mode, there are 4 options on here. The very first one, so let's say this one right now, this is if you are the type of a player who tap this pads gently and yet achieve a higher velocity, so like something like that. The second option is the linear velocity feedback. This is very common to most of the players who does tap the pads not so hard and not so soft. And this should be your audio output. There you go. Now let's move on to the next option. So this third option, if you are the type of person that would tap the pads with force, then you should tap that to have a higher velocity. Okay, there you go. And the last option, this is the full constant velocity feedback. In this option, whether you tap the pads soft or with force, pad will always send fixed maximum velocity. And now with the light button on here, you can still use the arrow up and down. Let's say I wanted it more brighter, then I'm going to tap the arrow up. So something like that. As you tap it, it tells you here. Okay, so that should be the maximum brightness you can have. Again, so if you want to lower it, that's the lowest it could get. Okay, and so again, maybe let's set it to the next level. Now, if we go back to the drum mode on here, you can actually use also pretty much all this buttons on here except the transpose. Let's say if I'm going to select the octave, there it is. And okay, let's listen to this one here. And then if I'm going to press the arrow up, so the octave increases as I press that arrow up, and then going down, there you go, or even this one here. Okay, there you go. So again, you can use the octave except the transpose. You cannot. It's not available with the drum mode. So only the octave is available with the drum mode. And you can also, maybe I'm going to set it back to the default. So same thing, press and hold both of the arrow up and down to set to default. There it is. Okay, so now let's maybe check or let's test the velocity. So same thing, you can use it. So just tap this one. Okay. So again, 4 modes, so four options for the velocity. So the third one, so pretty much you have 4 modes right there. So as I said, if you are a person that would tap your pads with force, then use the third one. Okay, and if you're the type of person who would gently press this pads, but it will still achieve the higher velocity, then select the first one right there. There you go. Okay. Okay, and now with the light, same thing. You can use the light functions on here under drum mode. So from here, if I'm going to make it more brighter, then simply tap the arrow up. Okay, there you go. So that's how bright it is. Okay, I'm just going to lower it again to the minimum one. There it is. Now with the user mode, so with the user mode, the octave, transpose, velocity are not available. Even the light on here is not available. So it's only available for the mood button on here. Again, this is the diffusion mode. So if I'm going to tap it again, it changes. So there you go. Okay, and then I'll tap it again, it changes. So how it reacts to this ambient strip light on here. With the user mode, it adapts whatever notes, whatever drum kit you added earlier under drum mode like that. Okay, so maybe let's go to drum mode again. Okay, I'm just gonna go back to here because this is the one I said earlier. So let's listen to it first. And as you recall, I added something on here, also here and there. Okay, now if I'm going to change this to user mode, There it is. So it should have the same notes. Okay, the drum kit and over here should be the same. And then so this is your drums. And then over here I added some. Okay, there you go. So pretty much that is the user mode. And now with the custom mode, you should be able to use the velocity, the light, except the octave and transpose. So again, with the custom mode, the octave and transpose are not available, but you can use the velocity. So let's say, for example, so okay, I'm gonna tap something on here. Okay, so if I'm going to tap velocity, there it is, and then I'm going to tap the arrow down, okay. So again, this is if you are a type of person that would gently press the pads, but you will achieve a greater velocity or a higher velocity. There you go. And then if you are a type of person that maybe not so hard, not so soft, that go to the next one. So the next one. So this is kind of the linear velocity feedback. Okay, and as you tap it to the third one, so again, this is the option that if you're a type of person that would tap it with force to achieve a higher velocity. There it is. Okay, and then the last one, so again, this doesn't matter. If you tap soft or with force, it will have the maximum velocity. There you go. Okay, so again, that's what it is. Now let's go to the light. So again, the light function on here, that is available under custom mode. And from here, if you want it more brighter, so pretty much same as earlier, just tap the arrow up. There it is. Okay, that's the maximum brightness it could give. With a custom mode, you should be able to customize the pads on here. You can add again some different notes, so sounds on these pads on here. Plus, you can also customize your RGB lights on here. But for this video, I will not be using the companion software came with the Synido. And now with this transport buttons on here, what it does is you can actually map this with the DAW you are using. So what I'm trying to point is instead of pressing record on your DAW, you can control it from here. Same with the play and stop. Okay, let me show you. So let's say, for example, I wanted to map this stop, play, and record from the DAW. So simply what you will do is go to MIDI. So there it is. So from here, what I'll do is I'll press the record circle right there, or the record function, and then I'll press the record button on here. There you go. It creates the control right there. And same thing. So the next one is play. So let's press the play right there, and then I'll press play on here. As you notice, it creates another control. Now the stop. So this is the stop, the square one. I'll tap it, and then I'll tap the stop on here. There you go. So I just mapped this 3 transport commands on the DAW I'm using. So from here, I'm going to tap MIDI again. There it is. So from here, if I am going, let's say I selected the first one there, the piano. From here, I'm going to add another track. Okay, maybe let's use this. So simply, if you want to add tracks, just hold and drop it to the space right there, and it will create that new track, MIDI track. There it is. Okay, so from here, if I'm going to press something on here, there you go. Let me show you a quick sample as to how to use this transport command after we mapped it to this DAW. I'm going to press record from the DAW itself. So I will simply double click that, and there it is. So I'll be tapping some notes on here. There you go. And then to stop, I can simply stop from here. There it is. So you don't really have to physically tap the stop button right there. You can use this one over here. Let's say play. I wanted to listen to it. Just tap play on here. There it is. And if you want to stop it, same thing. You can press the stop on here. There you go. So you don't really physically press the stop from the DAW because you map it already. So what it means is instead of pressing record, play, stop from the DAW itself, you can use this transport command as we mapped this already from the DAW. And there you go. That is all I can share for today. I know there's a lot more to talk about a MIDI device. I am just hoping that this video will give you an idea as to the functions and features if you will be getting this kind of MIDI device. By the way, I want to thank Synido for sending me this device for me to do my review and testing. If you will be interested in getting one, I will be adding a link under the description below along with the discount code. Thanks again, guys, for watching. If you like this type of video, please give it a like, and if you want more of this type of videos, consider subscribing if you haven't done yet, and hit the notification bell so you are always updated for all the upcoming videos I will be posting. Keep safe, and until next time.